department heads, I've looked a lot at the funding off of the sheets. We have a new fund implemented by the state called the Auditor's Ineligible Deduction Fund. And it's a fund that can be used by the auditor's office just like their recorder's perpetuation fund. But like Debbie says, they give us these funds, but then they make all these IC codes that limits what you can actually do with them. All that can be done with the auditor's ineligible deduction fund is pay wages. But on that same note, if you look, I want to go back to having an actual transfer / exemption deputy full-time in my office and cut back on the part-time wages. The main reason I want to do that is because with the cycle in my office of payroll and the chief deputy doing accounts payable now, when we used to have 6 people, it's not really working out with just 3 employees. So I'd like to bring that person in. I also gave you a sheet based on the record of how many people. On an average for a population of 30,000 to 35, the average employees is 5.4, and I'm only requesting that I have 4 people. So I can fund most of the extra person by taking out the part-time monies, and the other portion will come from the money we collect in the ineligible homesteads. And I already have about 12,000 in the ineligible homestead already, and we've only found 3 people with ineligible, and we still have about 100 to check into, which is causing more workload on my office. Plus, it's the end of the pink form year. If you don't know what that is, that's your verification of homesteads. So we're going to have even more work on the exemption thing. I bought a thing from Maximus that says the state law enables auditors to aggressively pursue the potential abuse by law. The auditor's office is charged with identifying homestead duplication and collecting back taxes and penalties. In return, the auditor is entitled to keep almost all of these amounts collected, but of course the state gets 1% of it. They made the law, they get 1% of it. So anything I find and collect, the state gets 1% of it, which is not huge amounts in Whitley County, but we do have quite a few people collecting because we have lakes. So we're finding a large mass of people who have lake homes with homesteads and have had them for quite some time, that they're nothing more than summer homes that we have been going after. And you would think that I would stop after a while, but just this week we've called 2 different counties because the people tried to file their homesteads here in Whitley County, but they kept retaining their home, and one was a rental even. So it's an ongoing thing, and it takes a long time.
Are you allowed to go back just 3 years, or?
Yes, we can go back 3 years to collect, just like we would if they found a correction on their taxes and we refunded them.
Right.
We have to refund them for 3 years, but if I have to go back and take the homesteads off and I can verify that it was ineligible, I can collect 3 years of taxes. So it's very, but right now they've lessened the thing, so they have to show us their driver's license with the address on it, their tax return if we question it, or their voter registration, are 1 or 2 of the things. And some people are really having trouble coming up with that on the ones that we're still looking into. So I think there'll be a lot more money funded into that. But like I said, I can only spend it on certain things like Debbie said, and one of that is on wages. So I would like to get rid of the part-time and bring someone in full-time. And I think that I could pay for a part of the wages out of the ineligible, plus the part-time money was pretty high anyways with the hours I needed someone part-time.
Jenny, the one you have part-time, you don't want to make that person full-time?
Yes.
The same person?
Yes. So I only have 2 funds to report on. That would be the county general in my budget and the auditor's ineligible deductions, where I want to use that money. And then supplies, of course. My equipment and program maintenance, I took $5,000 off that. I cut some more users out of the Manatron. So our quarterly is down from 7,000 a quarter down to like 54 something a quarter on their annual maintenance. Because, you know, we had 6 people before, but we never went back and looked at it. Same way with everybody who uses Manatron, we have less people, so we didn't have 14 users anymore, so we've cut that back.
That's something that maybe you should instruct, or somebody should instruct Jim to look at countywide, because your MVP, your CSI, all those other software programs are charged by user.
LaRue is the only one that doesn't charge a user. Once they come into your thing, and I love it now, everybody, these reports that I give you guys, anyone who sends in claims or anything, I've given them reader access on these reports. So it has helped so much with their seeing the claims. I mean, Karen Blake loves it at the highway. She can write a claim up and see that if there's not an appropriation for it. She looks at all of them. Patty Cook loves it. Jody at the sheriff. It's really helped them understand the whole accounting system more, what we have to look at as a whole, and it's saved a lot of errors along the way with claims and so forth. But my only request is for an additional full-time employee and how I'm going to fund it. And I could probably pay, from looking at the statute, some of the benefits for that person also out of that same ineligible homestead fees. So there's my spill.
So what would be the addition out of county general for this additional employee? What, 20,000, 25,000?
Not even that. I already had 15 I had 15 in part-time last year. I want to take that down to 2005, so there's 12. And I appropriated 15 out of there, so probably about 2,000 plus their benefits.
How much would that be?
Benefits, it just depends on how much coverage you take insurance-wise and so forth, but
It's probably, you can figure a good average of 35 to 45%.
so
Year,
probably 10.
Kind of depends on the insurance.
depends on the insurance, but then you got your perk, you got your taxes, a lot of it's,
to
Not
cover it.
knowing what they're gonna do with that yet.
right, so that's why you do an air like 35 to 45.
And the only other thing, I put my funding for the auditors ineligible at 15. As I collect, I left it under miscellaneous, so I can use it for their insurance and their FICA Medicare. That's something that can be paid for this person who's looking at the exemptions and the deductions. So I can fund more of that out of that. It's only, the funding for the employee can come out of this for the entire cost.
Any thoughts?
And if you say no, I'm going to increase my part-time money.
Well, I'm just gonna say, I've always said I won't support any new people. I think government's big enough. I think it's pretty obvious that most of us probably subscribe to what the Tea Party's thoughts are. And I never read anywhere they said, well, they want less government everywhere but Whitley County. So I guess I would propose that any new positions, we take a vote on, a roll call or a recorded vote on whether or not we approve them. We don't just put them in and let it go at that. We take a vote on them.
Well, that's automatic anyway, isn't it?
Well, a lot of times we make changes, then we vote on the whole budget, but I'm saying if we increase individual add people, then I think we should just take a vote on each one of them. And if it passes, it passes. I mean, I got no problem with that, but, you know, I think we don't normally do that. We normally just make changes to the budget, and then we just, when we adopt the budget, that just takes care of all changes. But I guess I just feel like we owe it to the taxpayers to take a vote on them, each one of them, if any new additions of employees like that.
The only question I got, before I make up my mind, is this person is going, if I heard you correctly, is going to go over some of these,
It'll be back to the transfer deputy.
right,
which will be deeds every day.
What I'm trying to get at, if they do their job, they could bring enough, way more than enough money into county general to offset this, that might not get done without it. That's what I'm asking.
That's correct.
These, what's the thing, the pink slips and all that kind of stuff, what's it called?
Ineligible homestead.
That's correct. You collect enough taxes to way more than offset their wages.
That's correct.
Any other questions or comments?
Those in favor?
Well, I don't think we should vote for that till we get ready to
Do
make
all
change, till we get ready to make changes, because it
Yeah.
gives us time to
Yeah.
think about it,
All right.
and, you know, and if we do it today, we're just kinda
We have a
doing it off
workshop.
the.
We're gonna have to have a workshop.
And we'll have chances
Right.
for
Yeah,
people to come in and
exactly.
question their budget and things, and then there may be reasons to have a new employer or two or something, but, you know, I think I'd like to see us vote on it, but I'd like to see us wait till we go to,
Till they get the
Well,
final,
after we get-
final package.
after we have them come back in for any
Well,
review or anything.
I'd like to have a little time to think
Time,
this through.
yeah, time to think about it, review it, make sure it's something.
That works for me. Anything else?
Nope, I put supplies in, but not very many. And that's the decision you guys will have to make if you wanna leave it at the department or put it all back in
With the
commissioners.
commissioners?
That'd be my only change.
Questions, comments?